Come in.
Are you ready to dive into the terrifying world of From? In this video, we're going to explore the mysterious and horrifying creatures that haunt the trapped town. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. These creatures are unlike anything you've seen before, with their otherworldly appearances and deadly intentions. From their nocturnal prowls to their cunning tactics, we'll delve deep into the details of these enigmatic beings. So, if you're ready to face your fears and learn the truth about the creatures of From, then stay tuned. So here are the top 5 creatures. Smiley Creature. In the shadowy corners of the town, the Smiley Creature lurks, a sinister presence that preys upon the unsuspecting. This ghastly figure, resembling a young man clad in the garb of the 1960s, wears a perpetual grin that chills the soul. The night takes a dark turn when Sarah Myers, driven by madness, slays Toby McRae and carelessly leaves the clinic door ajar. It is then that Smiley, accompanied by the bookworm, slithers in, only to be spotted by Gina. In a frantic bid for survival, she retreats to the basement, desperately trying to shield Bing Qian from the impending doom. But the creatures are relentless, and their attack is swift, claiming both lives in a gruesome display. Meanwhile, the creature known as Jasmine ensnares the isolated Kevin, persuading him to open the doors of Colony House. Once inside, she turns on him, ending his life and ushering in Smiley and a horde of other malevolent beings. They cunningly draw Trudy into a bedroom, where her screams are silenced forever. From the balcony, Smiley gazes down, his form dripping with the blood of the innocent, a sight that catches Dale's eye, prompting him to sound the alarm. But it is too late. Chaos erupts as Smiley and his monstrous companions unleash their fury. As he prowls through the house in search of more prey, Ellis attempts to evade capture, but is ensnared. In a desperate act, he shatters a window and leaps from the porch roof, hoping to escape the nightmare. Yet, before dawn breaks, the creatures have claimed the lives of 14 souls within Colony House, leaving behind a chilling silence.
Hi. Are you comfortable in there?
Old Lady Creature. In the shadowy corners of the town, whispers of the Old Lady Creature send shivers down the spines of its residents. This sinister being, cloaked in the guise of a sweet elderly woman, preys upon the unsuspecting, leaving a trail of lifeless bodies in her wake. With a voice as smooth as honey, she lures children into her web, convincing them she is their long-lost grandmother. One fateful evening, she approached the Pratt home, her gnarled fingers tapping softly against the window pane. Young Megan, curious yet cautious, peered out to find the old lady's warm smile, beckoning her closer. "Let me in, dear child," she cooed. "I am your grandmother, and I've missed you so." Megan hesitated, recalling her mother's warnings about strangers. "But you don't look like her," she replied, her voice trembling. The old lady's eyes darkened and desperation seeped into her tone. "I promise, it will be our little secret," she urged, her facade cracking just enough to reveal the malevolence lurking beneath. Just as Megan, torn between fear and curiosity, began to pull back the curtain, her mother, Lauren, rushed upstairs. The moment was too late. The old lady's true form erupted from the shadows, a grotesque visage of hunger and malice. In a heartbeat, the room filled with screams, and the air turned thick with the scent of betrayal as the creature lunged, claiming both mother and daughter in a gruesome embrace. The town would mourn, but the old lady would remain, ever hungry, ever watching. Jasmine. In the shadowy depths of the township, Jasmine lurked, a sinister entity cloaked in the guise of a stunning young woman with flowing blonde hair, her attire a haunting echo of a 1960s black and white miniskirt. She was one of the creatures preying on the souls ensnared within the Colony House. Kevin, a solitary figure among the residents, found himself ensnared by Jasmine's enchanting manipulation, falling hopelessly in love with her. He would leave delicate bouquets on the porch, their fragrant petals a testament to his infatuation, while their conversations unfolded through a barrier of glass. Yet Jasmine's pleas grew more insistent, her desire to enter his world becoming a dark obsession. On the night of the celebration marking Fatima Hassan's arrival, Kevin slipped away from the festivities, drawn to Jasmine's voice. She appeared, a specter of sorrow, claiming she had come to bid farewell, sending a chill through Kevin's heart. Her questions pierced him. Why wouldn't he let her in? He stammered his reasons, pleading for her to remain, but she revealed the truth. She could not endure the distance, the knowledge that he recoiled from her true form. She confessed her own loneliness, a fate not of her choosing. As she turned to depart, Kevin's desperation surged. He mentioned the party below, but it was her presence he craved. He implored her to promise that only she would cross the threshold. With a chilling assurance, she declared that once the window was sealed, no other creatures would intrude. Driven by a mix of hope and dread, Kevin retrieved a crowbar, prying the nails from the window's grip. With a swift motion, he opened the window, and Jasmine leapt inside, sealing the barrier behind her. Their embrace ignited a moment of passion, but the warmth quickly turned to horror as Jasmine revealed her true nature, tearing into him with a ferocity that left him lifeless. Once the deed was done, she cleansed herself of the crimson stains, her reflection a mask of satisfaction. With a wicked smile, she opened the window once more, beckoning the other creatures to join her. Together, Jasmine, Smiley, and another fiend lured Trudy into a trap, their laughter echoing like a siren's call. As Trudy stepped into the room, the door slammed shut, and the realization of her fate dawned upon her.
Hiya.
You think this is scary?
Nurse Creature. In the shadowy corners of the town, the Nurse Creature lurks, a sinister specter that preys upon the unsuspecting. Clad in the garb of a 1950s hospital nurse, she embodies a chilling blend of nostalgia and terror. When Boyd Stevens breaks free from the dungeon's clutches, he is drawn into the forest by the fleeting image of a dog. But as the air thickens with the echo of the creature's haunting shrieks, Boyd extinguishes his torch, seeking refuge behind a gnarled tree. There, he watches in horror as the nurse and her grotesque companions slink past, their intentions as dark as the night itself. Under the command of the old lady creature, the nurse and a horde of other fiends gather menacingly around a bus, their eyes glinting with malice as they taunt Randall, urging him to unlock the doors. With a bravado that belies his fear, Randall mocks their attempts, boasting of the protective talisman that keeps them at bay. But as he shouts for them to confront him, the creatures retreat, their howls piercing the night like a mournful dirge. As darkness deepens, the nurse and her monstrous allies encircle the RV where Boyd, Donna, Jim, and Randall huddle in terror. They advance, then halt abruptly, a chilling stillness enveloping the scene. Later, when the four attempt to flee, Boyd fires bullets steeped in the bile of Smiley, but the creatures remain unfazed. In a desperate bid for survival, they manage to escape the clutches of the nightmarish beings, but the haunting presence of the nurse lingers, a reminder that the darkness is never truly vanquished. Cowboy Creature. In the shadowy corners of the town, the Cowboy Creature lurks, a sinister figure that preys upon the unsuspecting. Clad in the garb of a 1950s cowboy, complete with a wide-brimmed hat, it embodies the very essence of dread. As twilight descends, chaos erupts among the bus passengers, scattering like leaves in a storm. Donna and Kenny scramble to herd them back to safety, but Fatima, desperate and frantic, urges those left outside to seek refuge in the sheriff's office. Just as Ellis yanks her inside, the cowboy and the bag lady emerge from the darkness, their presence chilling the air. The cowboy tips his hat mockingly, taunting Fatima with a sinister grin that ignites her fury, prompting Ellis to pull her away from the threshold. Witnessing the gruesome fate of two passengers, Fatima, fueled by rage, returns to the door, shouting at the creatures to cease their ghastly grins. The cowboy, with an unsettling calm, replies that she would feel much better if she stepped outside. Boyd bursts from the clinic, his voice echoing into the night as he beckons the creatures. The cowboy, along with a horde of others, answers his call, and Smiley steps forward to confront him. In a moment of desperation, Boyd slashes his palm and then Smiley's throat, pressing his bleeding hand against the creature's wound. The grotesque transfer of writhing worms seals Smiley's fate, leaving him lifeless on the ground. The cowboy and his companions approach the fallen body, their eyes devoid of emotion as they inspect the remains, completely disregarding Boyd before they drift away into the shadows. As night deepens, the cowboy and a throng of creatures encircle the RV, where Boyd, Donna, Jim, and Randall huddle in fear. They advance slowly, then inexplicably halt, forming a menacing ring around the vehicle. Later, as the four attempt a daring escape, Boyd fires bullets soaked in Smiley's bile, but they prove futile against the relentless creatures. Yet, against all odds, the group manages to slip away from their nightmarish pursuers, leaving the darkness behind, at least for now. So this was for today's folks. See you in our next video. Till then, bye-bye and take care.
Heck, I'll laugh anyway.